How does fear affect you when you're dating or when you're in a relationship? I'm Ceza Ouzounian and I am a relationship and love coach. And today we're talking about fear. So fear comes up in lots of different ways when we're dating, when we're in a relationship, and we want to make sure that those fears don't take over, because when they take over, they can affect what we're thinking, how we behave, what we're feeling, and that can really affect the relationship, or it can affect dating. And if you're dating, it affects who you attract into your world. It affects what kind of partner and what kind of relationship you end up in. So things like fear of rejection. So I had a client who she had a deep down fear of rejection. And what was happening with her was she would go on dates and she would get into relationships, but they were always casual relationships. She wanted something serious and long term, but she kept attracting these guys who just wanted to have fun. And when we explored what was going on deep down, there was that fear of rejection. And by attracting guys who only wanted casual things, the relationship never got serious, which means the rejection was never that big a deal because it was casual, it was just a bit of fun. And it was stopping her from attracting someone who wanted a relationship, who wanted to settle down, because it meant she couldn't get hurt. So when we let go of that fear and let her align to what she truly desires and not let that fear take over, it meant she met someone who wanted a long-term relationship. She met someone she could settle down with because she wasn't letting that fear of rejection take over. And with things like these kind of fears and beliefs, when it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So there was that fear of rejection. She only attracted guys who wanted to have a little bit of fun, and then they left and went and had fun with someone else. So in a way, she got rejected, and it was just kind of confirming her belief that fear of rejection was real, that fear that rejection was going to happen. And it was just kind of this cycle of making it a reality. So when you can let go of that fear, it changed everything for her. And there's so many different types of fears that come up. Fear of abandonment. You might find that you become clingy or needy or controlling because you're scared that person's going to leave you. And that again is affecting your relationship because you can't be with your partner 24/7. If you can't manage on your own for a few hours or a few days, then there's something there you need to work on. Again, you need to look in deep. What has caused that fear? What do you need to work on? What do you need to release? It could be something from your childhood. It could be something from past relationships. It could be something that, has nothing to do with relationships. But it's about finding that fear and working on it so it's not taking control of you. And yeah, these are just a couple of examples of fears, but there's so many different fears that can really take over. And what you can do is really look at your relationships or look at your dating, probably a bit of both. So what kind of relationships have you ended up in? Is there a pattern that you're seeing? Is there, if you always end up in a relationship and the minute it gets a bit serious, you get triggered and you start doing things that sabotage the relationship and then walk away, then maybe you have a fear of commitment or fear of intimacy. And that is what you can work on and explore to make sure that future relationships aren't going to be affected. Also have a look at how you feel about yourself, because your self-esteem and self-confidence can really affect your relationship. So for example, if you have a fear of failure and you feel like you're going to fail in that relationship, you're not going to be good enough, you're not going to do what needs to be done, you're just saying yes to everything the other person's saying so you can become that people pleaser, then it's time for you to work on yourself. It's time to work on your self-care, your self-esteem, to really bring up your self-worth so you can be yourself. You are not just doing something to keep someone else happy, or you're not attracting people who aren't right for you because you're worried you're not going to be good enough or you're going to fail in that relationship. So yeah, look inwards. Another fear that comes up quite a lot is the fear of the unknown. So I've worked with clients who maybe don't use those words, fear of the unknown, but it's that fear of doing something different. So maybe they've been in a relationship for a long time. They feel like the relationship isn't right for them. They want to walk away. They want to go on and meet someone else, but they are scared of what's to come next because they don't know. They don't know if they're going to meet someone else. They don't know if they're too old to meet someone else. They don't know if they're going to find something better. They don't know if they're going to be okay on their own. They don't know any of this. And that unknown can be really scary. So it's about working on that fear so that you can trust your instincts. If your instincts are saying to walk away and that fear is taking over and stopping you, then it's about letting go of the fear and trusting your instincts and trusting you'll be okay and trusting that something better is out there for you and finding the way to walk away, finding a path that's going to allow you to go into that unknown. And that can take time. That is a scary thing to do. But again, it's about looking inwards of what is going on, what is behind that fear, what needs to change for you to be able to do what you need to do and that you know is right to do. And working with a coach is really, really valuable for all of this because we have fears and sometimes we don't know what those fears are because we are in the middle of that fear and it can be hard to see it. But when you have that guidance to be able to step back and actually look at that fear or look at what's happening from a different angle, a different perspective, it means you can start to see what's coming up for you. You can start to see those fears in you. You can start seeing those blocks and you can start to see how they're affecting dating or affecting your relationships because they will affect things. They will affect how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. And the last thing you want, especially if you're in a really good and happy and amazing relationship with an amazing person, you don't want those fears to take over and cause you to start sabotaging the relationship because it happens. You know, everyone's done something in a relationship that can be quite damaging or detrimental because of a fear taking over. So yeah, if you find your fears are coming up and you are struggling in a relationship or you're struggling when you're dating, maybe you keep attracting the wrong person, then get in touch. We can work on that together. I've got my Love Unlocked program, which is a 5-week journey where you look at all your inner blocks, your resistances, all the things that can be causing the different fears, and allow you to let go of them. We use a tool called the Energy Alignment Method that allows you to really delve in deep and be able to let them go, because you don't want these fears taking over. You don't want them controlling your life. And a lot of things happen on autopilot. The fear is there, we react to it, we get triggered, we react, and it affects everything. So the more you work on it, the more you notice it, the more you can catch it before it takes over, the more you can decide how you are going to feel or think or behave. And that's what's going to make the difference when you're dating or when you're in a relationship. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, or reach out to me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.